Question 1. An insurance policyholder in New Jersey suffers a property loss but has a deductible of $1,000 on their policy. If the loss amount is $10,000, how much will the insurance company pay, assuming no coinsurance or other policy provisions apply? A. $10,000. B. $9,000. C. $1,000. D. $11,000. Correct answer. B. $9,000. Explanation. In property insurance, a deductible is the amount the insured must pay out of pocket before the insurance company covers the rest of the loss. Here, with a $1,000 deductible, the policyholder must cover that amount, and the insurer will pay the remaining $9,000. Deductible calculation. Loss amount $10,000. Deductible $1,000 equals $1,000. Purpose of deductibles. Deductibles reduce claim frequency, lower premiums, and encourage policyholders to avoid filing small claims. Question 2. Mr. Patel, a contractor with a business auto policy, BAP, is transporting materials to a worksite when his vehicle is involved in an accident. The accident results in bodily injuries to a third party and damage to the materials he was transporting. Which coverage under the BAP would apply to the bodily injury claim made by the third party? A. Liability coverage. B. Medical payments coverage. C. Collision coverage. D. Cargo coverage. Correct answer. A. Liability coverage. Explanation. In a business auto policy, BAP liability coverage covers bodily injury and property damage that the insured may cause to others during business operations. Since a third party sustained bodily injuries from Mr. Patel's accident, liability coverage applies. Structure of BAP. A standard BAP includes liability, medical payments, and physical damage coverages. Regulatory requirement. Liability coverage is typically required by state law to protect third parties from damages due to the insured's business activities. Question 3. A New Jersey homeowner's policy includes coverage for dwelling with a policy limit of $200,000 and an 80% coinsurance clause. If the homeowner suffers a $60,000 partial loss but only insured the dwelling for $120,000, how much will the insurance company pay, assuming no deductible? A. $45,000. B. $60,000. C. $30,000. D. $15,000. Correct answer. A. $45,000. Explanation. The coinsurance clause requires the homeowner to carry insurance equal to at least 80% of the dwelling's replacement cost to receive full coverage for partial losses. The insured amount falls short of the required $160,000, 80% of $200,000. Coinsurance formula. Amount of insurance carried, amount of insurance required, X loss amount. Calculation. $120,000, $160,000, X $60,000 equals $45,000. Purpose of coinsurance. Coinsurance ensures policyholders maintain adequate insurance, preventing them from underinsuring properties while still expecting full coverage. Question 4. A homeowner's insurance policy includes replacement cost coverage for personal property. After a fire, the homeowner's sofa, which had an original cost of $1,200 and a depreciated value of $500, was destroyed. A similar new sofa costs $1,500. What will the insurance company pay under replacement cost coverage? A. $500. B. $1,200. C. $1,500. D. $1,000. Correct answer. C. $1,500. Explanation. Replacement cost coverage reimburses the insured for the cost to replace the damaged property with new property of similar kind and quality without factoring in depreciation. In this case, because the policy provides replacement cost coverage, the insurer will pay the full replacement cost of the new sofa, which is $1,500. Replacement cost versus actual cash value, CV. Unlike a CV, which considers depreciation, replacement cost covers the current cost to replace the item with a new one of similar quality. Purpose of replacement cost coverage. This type of coverage helps policyholders fully replace lost items rather than receiving a depreciated amount that may not cover a similar new item. Question 5. An insurance agent convinces a policyholder to replace their current life insurance policy with a new one, claiming it will provide better benefits. However, the agent fails to disclose that the new policy has a higher premium and lower death benefit. Which unfair trade practice best describes this situation? A. Churning. B. Twisting. C. Rebidding. D. Misrepresentation. Correct answer. B. Twisting. Explanation. Twisting occurs when an agent persuades a policyholder to cancel their current policy and purchase a new one by misrepresenting the benefits or features of the new policy. This is considered an unfair trade practice because it is deceptive and may not be in the policyholder's best interest. Distinction from churning. Churning involves using the cash value of an existing policy to purchase additional insurance within the same insurer, not necessarily misrepresenting benefits. Importance of full disclosure. Agents must provide complete and accurate information to ensure the policyholder makes an informed decision. Question 6. Under a commercial property insurance policy, a business owner has a building and personal property coverage formed with a business income and extra expense endorsement. Following a covered fire loss, the business is temporarily closed for repairs, and extra costs are incurred to expedite reopening. Which coverage applies to these extra expenses? A. Business income coverage. B. Property damage coverage. C. Extra expense coverage. D. Liability coverage. Correct answer. C. Extra expense coverage. Explanation. Extra expense coverage covers additional costs incurred by the insured to continue or expedite business operations following a covered loss. This endorsement pays for expenses such as renting temporary equipment, paying overtime wages, or contracting additional services to minimize the time needed to resume normal operations. Business income versus extra expense. Business income coverage compensates for lost income, whereas extra expense coverage pays specifically for extra costs aimed at reducing downtime. Commercial property insurance use. This endorsement helps companies limit financial losses by speeding up the return to normal business activities. Question 7. An insured has a commercial auto policy and is involved in an accident that results in bodily injury to others. The accident is determined to be partially their fault and partially the fault of the other driver. Under a comparative negligence standard, how will the insurance company handle the claim? A. Deny the claim due to partial fault. B. Cover the full amount of the damages. C. Pay only a percentage of the damages based on the insured's fault. D. Require the insured to pay the full claim. Correct answer. C. Pay only a percentage of the damages based on the insured's fault. Explanation. Under comparative negligence, an insurer adjusts the claim payout according to the degree of fault attributed to each party involved. If the insured is partially at fault, the insurer will pay a proportionate amount of the damages based on that fault percentage. Comparative negligence principle. Comparative negligence allows multiple parties to share liability for an incident, with each party bearing responsibility for their portion of fault. Distinction from contributory negligence. In states with contributory negligence, any fault by the insured might completely bar recovery. Question 8. A property insurance policy includes a coinsurance clause requiring the insured to cover at least 90% of the property's replacement cost. If the property is valued at $500,000 but insured for only $400,000 and a partial loss of $100,000 occurs, what amount will the insurer pay under the coinsurance provision? A. $100,000. B. $80,000. C. $90,000. D. $50,000. Correct answer. B. $80,000. Explanation. Coinsurance requires the insured to carry a specified percentage, here 90%, of the property's replacement cost to receive full payment for partial losses. Since the insured carried only $400,000 instead of the required $450,000, a penalty is applied. Calculation. Insurance carried insurance required X loss amount calculation. $400,000, $450,000, X $100,000 equals $80,000. Purpose of coinsurance. Coinsurance clauses encourage policyholders to insure their property adequately, helping insurers reduce risk. Question 9. A contractor purchases a builder's risk policy for a construction project. During the course of construction, a severe windstorm damages part of the building under construction. Which of the following statements is correct regarding coverage under the builder's risk policy? A. Only permanent structures are covered and temporary structures are excluded. B. The policy covers both completed and partially completed structures. C. Coverage begins only after the project is fully completed. D. Windstorm damage is excluded under all builder's risk policies. Correct answer. B. The policy covers both completed and partially completed structures. Explanation. A builder's risk policy provides coverage for structures under construction, including both completed and partially completed work. It typically covers risks like windstorms, fire, and theft, which could affect the project before completion. Scope of builder's risk coverage. This policy protects materials, supplies, and labor invested in the construction project against various perils. Clarification of coverage. Coverage begins when construction starts and ends upon project completion or handover, as specified in the policy. Question 10. A business is required to carry commercial general liability (CGL) insurance to protect against liability claims if the business is sued for damages resulting from an advertisement it posted that allegedly harmed a competitor's reputation. Which part of the CGL policy would likely respond? A. Coverage. Bodily injury and property damage. B. Coverage. B. Personal and advertising injury. C. Coverage. C. Medical payments. D. Coverage. D. Product liability. Question 10. A business is required to carry commercial general liability (CGL) insurance to protect against liability claims if the business is sued for damages resulting from an advertisement it posted that allegedly harmed a competitor's reputation. Which part of the CGL policy would likely respond? A. Coverage. Bodily injury and property damage. B. Coverage. B. Personal and advertising injury. C. Coverage. C. Medical payments. D. Coverage. D. Product liability. Question 11. A policyholder has a homeowner's insurance policy with an 80% coinsurance requirement and a dwelling insured for $200,000. The replacement cost of the dwelling is $300,000. If a fire causes $60,000 in damage, how much will the insurance company pay? A. $60,000. B. $50,000. C. $40,000. D. $30,000. Correct answer. B. $50,000. Explanation. The coinsurance clause requires the dwelling to be insured for at least 80% of its replacement cost. Since 80% of $300,000 is $240,000, the policyholder's $200,000 coverage does not meet the requirement, resulting in a penalty. Calculation. Insurance carried, insurance required, X loss amount calculation. $200,000, $240,000, X 60,000 L is equals $50,000. Purpose of coinsurance. Coinsurance encourages policyholders to adequately insure their property, and a penalty applies if the requirement isn't met. Question 12. An insured's business owner's policy, BOP, includes a business interruption endorsement. A covered peril forces the business to close for 30 days, resulting in lost income and payroll expenses. What type of loss is this, and how is it covered? A. Direct loss, covered under property coverage. B. Indirect loss, covered under business interruption. C. Direct loss, covered under extra expense coverage. D. Indirect loss, excluded from coverage. Correct answer. B. Indirect loss, covered under business interruption. Explanation. Business interruption is considered an indirect loss because it results from a primary event, the direct loss, but affects the business's ability to operate. Business interruption coverage in a BOP provides compensation for lost income and certain continuing expenses during the period of restoration. Indirect loss versus direct loss. Direct losses involve actual physical damage, while indirect losses include consequential losses like lost income. Purpose of business interruption coverage. It helps businesses maintain financial stability by covering income and expenses during shutdowns due to covered perils. Question 13. Under a commercial general liability (CGL) policy, which type of liability would cover claims related to injury caused by a defective product after the product has been sold? A. Premises liability. B. Completed operations liability. C. Products liability. D. Advertising injury liability. Correct answer. C. Products liability. Explanation. Products liability under a CGL policy provides coverage for bodily injury or property damage arising from products sold, manufactured, or distributed by the insured after they have left the insured's premises. Scope of products liability. It specifically applies to products that cause harm once they are in the possession of consumers. Purpose of products liability. It protects companies against financial losses from claims due to defective products. Question 14. A garage policy is purchased by an auto repair shop. A customer's vehicle is damaged while in the shop's care. Under which part of the garage policy would this loss likely be covered? A. Garage liability. B. Garage keeper's coverage. C. Business auto coverage. D. Premises liability. Correct answer. B. Garage keeper's coverage. Explanation. Garage keeper's coverage provides protection for customers' vehicles while they are in the care, custody, or control of the garage business. This coverage applies when customer vehicles are damaged by a covered peril, e.g., fire, theft, or vandalism, while on the premises. Garage keepers versus garage liability. Garage keepers covers physical damage to customers' vehicles, whereas garage liability covers the business's liability for other damages or injuries. Importance for auto businesses. This coverage is essential for auto repair shops, as it specifically protects against damages to clients' vehicles. Question 15. Which of the following would generally be excluded from coverage under a commercial property policy? Q. Fire damage to an insured building. B. Windstorm damage to outdoor signs. C. Employee theft of business property. D. Vandalism damage to a business's exterior. Correct answer. C. Employee theft of business property. Explanation. Most commercial property policies exclude employee theft as it is considered a form of internal risk. To cover employee theft, businesses typically need to purchase a separate commercial crime policy. Purpose of exclusions. Policies exclude certain risks to control moral hazards and because other types of insurance, like crime insurance, specifically address them. Additional coverage for theft. Employee theft is a unique risk that requires specialized coverage beyond standard property insurance. Question 16. A professional liability policy provides coverage for which of the following scenarios? A. A restaurant is sued after a customer slips and falls. B. An accountant is sued for errors in tax preparation. C. A contractor is sued for property damage while working on site. D. A retail store is sued for false advertising. Correct answer. B. An accountant is sued for errors in tax preparation. Explanation. Professional liability insurance, also known as errors and omissions, EO, insurance, covers claims related to mistakes or negligence in professional services provided. In this case, an accountant's error in tax preparation is covered, distinct from general liability. General liability covers bodily injury and property damage, while professional liability specifically covers services provided by professionals. Purpose of professional liability. It protects service professionals from claims of inadequate work, errors, or negligence. Question 17. A commercial property owner has a boiler and machinery policy. Which of the following would be covered under this policy? A. Fire damage to the property. B. Loss of income due to a power surge damaging machinery. C. Wind damage to the roof. D. Flood damage to the basement. Correct answer. B. Loss of income due to power surge damaging machinery. Explanation. A boiler and machinery policy, also known as equipment breakdown coverage, provides protection against physical and financial loss due to mechanical or electrical failure. Coverage includes damage to the equipment and may also cover lost income due to equipment breakdown. Unique to equipment breakdown, standard property policies often exclude mechanical breakdowns, so this policy fills that gap. Scope of boiler and machinery coverage. It specifically addresses internal machinery and equipment issues, not external perils like wind or flood. Question 18. An insured's commercial auto policy has a symbol 1, any auto, coverage designation for liability. This designation means A. Coverage applies only to owned autos. B. Coverage applies only to non-owned autos. C. Coverage applies to any auto regardless of ownership. D. Coverage applies only to autos specifically listed in the policy. Correct answer. C. Coverage applies to any auto regardless of ownership. Explanation. Symbol 1 in a commercial auto policy indicates coverage for any auto, whether owned, leased, hired, or borrowed, for liability purposes. It provides the broadest liability coverage available under a commercial auto policy. Purpose of Symbol 1. It ensures that any vehicle used in business operations is covered for liability, reducing the risk of gaps in coverage. Commercial auto symbol system. Each symbol provides different scopes of coverage based on vehicle ownership and use. Question 19. Which endorsement allows a homeowner's insurance policy to cover personal property for additional perils such as accidental loss or damage? A. Inflation guard endorsement. B. Scheduled personal property endorsement. C. Personal property replacement cost endorsement. D. Personal property floater. Correct answer. D. Personal property floater. Explanation. A personal property floater provides broader coverage for personal property, often on an all-risk basis, which includes coverage for accidental loss or damage to valuable items such as jewelry, art, or electronics. Distinction from scheduled personal property. While both cover specific items, a floater generally provides all-risk coverage that applies worldwide. Purpose of personal property floater. It extends coverage to include a wide range of perils beyond the basic homeowner's policy's coverage. Question 20. A business's commercial property insurance includes an agreed value provision. What is the purpose of this provision? A. To allow the insured to receive partial payments. B. To waive the coinsurance requirement. C. To require the insured to pay a deductible on every claim. D. To increase coverage for replacement cost. Correct answer. B. To waive the coinsurance requirement. Explanation. An agreed value provision in a commercial property insurance policy waives the coinsurance requirement as long as the insured and the insurer agree on a specified value for the covered property. This means the insured does not face a penalty if the property is underinsured. Purpose of agreed value. It ensures that both parties agree on a fixed value, simplifying claim settlements and eliminating potential penalties. Coinsurance requirement. Normally, coinsurance requires the insured to maintain coverage equal to a certain percentage of property value, but agreed value eliminates this requirement. Question 21. Under a commercial general liability (CGL) policy, what is the aggregate limit? A. The maximum amount paid per occurrence. B. The maximum amount paid for all claims combined during the policy period. C. The limit per person for bodily injury claims. D. The limit for property damage per location. Correct answer. B. The maximum amount paid for all claims combined during the policy period. Explanation. The aggregate limit in a CGL policy represents the maximum amount the insurer will pay for all claims combined within the policy period. This differs from the per occurrence limit, which applies to individual claims. Purpose of aggregate limit. It helps insurers control total exposure by setting an overall cap on claims for a given policy period. Separate from per occurrence, aggregate limits and per occurrence limits work together to define the policy's coverage scope. Question 22. Which of the following best describes the claims-made form in a professional liability policy? A. Coverage applies to claims made during the policy period regardless of when the incident occurred. B. Coverage applies to incidents occurring during the policy period regardless of when the claim is made. C. Coverage applies only if the policyholder renews the policy annually. D. Coverage applies only if the policyholder is at fault. Correct answer. A. Coverage applies to claims made during the policy period regardless of when the incident occurred. Explanation. A claims-made form provides coverage for claims reported during the policy period even if the incident happened earlier, as long as it falls within the policy's retroactive date. Claims-made versus occurrence form. The claims-made form requires that claims are reported within the policy term, while an occurrence form covers incidents during the policy period regardless of claim timing. Importance of retroactive date. Claims before this date are not covered, helping insurers manage long-term liabilities. Question 23. In a commercial property policy, extra expense coverage is primarily designed to cover which of the following: A. Rebuilding costs after a fire. B. Costs to rent temporary office space to continue operations. C. Loss of income due to business interruption. D. Cost of personal property damaged by fire. Correct answer: B. Costs to rent temporary office space to continue operations. Explanation: extra expense coverage covers costs incurred to keep a business running after a loss, like renting temporary space to minimize operational disruption. Extra expense versus business interruption. While business interruption covers lost income, extra expenses for the costs to avoid or minimize shutdown. Purpose of extra expense coverage: helps businesses maintain continuity, reducing the long-term impact of a covered loss. Question 24. Which of the following endorsements would provide coverage for a vehicle rented by an individual under their personal auto policy? PAP. A. Named non-owner coverage endorsement. B. Broad form drive other car endorsement. C. Extended non-owned coverage endorsement. D. Rental reimbursement endorsement. Correct answer: C. Extended non-owned coverage endorsement. Explanation: the extended non-owned coverage endorsement broadens liability coverage for vehicles not owned by the policyholder, including rental cars. Use case: this endorsement is valuable for individuals who frequently rent vehicles. Purpose of non-owned coverage: extends liability and sometimes medical payments to vehicles the insured does not own, rent, or lease long-term. Question 25. In a homeowner's insurance policy, what does coverage see? Personal property typically cover: A. the dwelling itself. B. detached structures like sheds and garages. C. contents within the home, such as furniture and electronics. D. landscaping, including trees and shrubs. Correct answer: C. contents within the home, such as furniture and electronics. Explanation: coverage C. Personal property covers the insured's personal belongings inside the home, like furniture, clothing, and electronics. Scope of coverage usually extends to personal property anywhere in the world, though limits may apply for property off premises, separate from dwelling coverage. This is distinct from coverage A, which applies to the structure itself. Question 26. A business owner's commercial auto policy includes Symbol 7. Specifically described autos for liability coverage. This means A. all autos owned by the business are covered. B. only autos listed in the policy are covered. C. autos owned, hired, and borrowed by the business are covered. D. any auto, regardless of ownership, is covered. Correct answer: B. only autos listed in the policy are covered. Explanation: Symbol 7 in a commercial auto policy restricts liability coverage to vehicles specifically listed in the policy. This limits coverage to avoid insuring unintended vehicles. Coverage limitation: Symbol 7 requires a detailed list of covered vehicles, making it suitable for businesses wanting to control insured assets. Contrast with Symbol 1. Symbol 1 covers any auto, offering the broadest liability coverage. Question 27. Which of the following is excluded under the Commercial General Liability CGL policy? A. Bodily injury caused by an employee at a client site. B. Property damage caused by a product manufactured by the business. C. Pollution caused by a manufacturing process. D. Liability arising from advertising injury. Correct answer: C. Pollution caused by a manufacturing process. Explanation: pollution is generally excluded from coverage under standard CGL policy due to the high risk and complexity associated with environmental hazards. Separate pollution liability insurance is typically needed for such coverage. Purpose of exclusion: pollution claims can be expensive and involve long-term cleanup, and insurers exclude these to control costs. Alternative coverage: businesses needing pollution coverage often purchase specific environmental liability policies. Question 28. A building and personal property coverage from BPP includes a replacement cost endorsement. What does this endorsement change in terms of how claims are paid? A. Claims are paid based on actual cash value. B. Claims are paid based on depreciated value. C. Claims are paid based on the cost to repair or replace with like kind and quality. D. Claims are subject to a coinsurance penalty. Correct answer. C. Claims are paid based on the cost to repair or replace with like kind and quality. Explanation. With a replacement cost endorsement, claims are paid based on the cost to repair or replace damaged property without deducting for depreciation. Replacement cost versus actual cash value. Actual cash value, ACV, subtracts depreciation, while replacement cost provides full reimbursement up to policy limits. Purpose. This endorsement ensures that the insured can replace property without out-of-pocket depreciation costs. Question 29. In workers' compensation insurance, which of the following benefits are covered? A. Punitive damage is awarded to the injured employee. B. Medical expenses and lost wages for work-related injuries. C. Legal defense for the employer in employee lawsuits. D. Compensation for damage to the employee's personal property. Correct answer. B. Medical expenses and lost wages for work-related injuries. Explanation. Workers' compensation insurance provides benefits for medical expenses and lost wages resulting from work-related injuries or illnesses, ensuring employees receive support without the need for litigation. Exclusions. Workers' comp does not cover punitive damages or personal property loss. Objective of workers' comp: to support employees with no-fault benefits, protecting employers from direct liability. Question 30. What is the purpose of the no benefit to bailee clause in a property insurance policy? A. It prevents employees from claiming benefits under the policy. B. It ensures that the insured cannot transfer benefits to another party. C. It prevents other parties in possession of the property from benefiting from the policy. D. It limits the payout to actual cash value. Correct answer. C. It prevents other parties in possession of the property from benefiting from the policy. Explanation. The no benefit to bailee clause states that no other party, such as a bailee who has custody of the insured's property, can benefit from the insured's policy. This provision helps prevent claims made by parties other than the insured. Example: if a storage facility damages stored items, the insured, not the bailee, benefits from the policy. Purpose of clause: ensures the policy solely benefits the named insured, not third-party custodians. Question 31. What is typically covered under coverage B? Other structures in a homeowner's insurance policy. A. The main dwelling and attached garage. B. Detached structures on the property, such as a shed or fence. C. Personal belongings within the dwelling. D. Additional living expenses after loss. Correct answer. B. Detached structures on the property, such as a shed or fence. Explanation. Coverage B. Other structures applies to structures on the insured property that are detached from the main dwelling, such as sheds, fences, and detached garages. Separation from dwelling coverage. Coverage applies to the main structure, while coverage B covers standalone buildings. Limit of coverage. Coverage B is often capped at a percentage of the coverage limit, typically 10%. Question 32. Under a personal auto policy, PAP, which of the following is excluded from liability coverage? A. Accidents involving a rental car. B. Damage caused while using a vehicle for business purposes. C. Injury caused to others while the insured is driving their own vehicle. D. Property damage caused by the insured's vehicle. Correct answer. B. Damage caused while using a vehicle for business purposes. Explanation. A personal auto policy, PAP, typically excludes liability coverage for vehicles used for business purposes. Separate commercial auto insurance is usually required for business-related vehicle use. Purpose of exclusion. Personal policies are not designed for the increased risks associated with business use. Common exemptions. Many PAPs exclude business use, delivery services, and commercial operations. Question 33. In a business owner's policy, BOP, what is the purpose of business income coverage? A. To cover property damages caused by a covered peril. B. To cover payroll expenses for employees. C. To cover the loss of income resulting from a covered loss. D. To cover personal property losses. Correct answer. C. To cover the loss of income resulting from a covered loss. Explanation. Business income coverage under a BOP provides compensation for lost income when a business cannot operate due to covered property loss, helping the business maintain financial stability. What is covered? Covers net income lost and ongoing expenses during the business's downtime. Separate from property damage. It's distinct from physical repairs or property replacement. It focuses on revenue loss. Question 34. Which of the following statements about umbrella liability insurance is correct? A. It only applies to homeowners' policies. B. It only covers specific named perils. C. It provides additional liability coverage beyond underlying policies. D. It eliminates the need for any other liability insurance. Correct answer. C. It provides additional liability coverage beyond underlying policies. Explanation. Umbrella liability insurance offers extra liability coverage over and above the limits of the insured's underlying policies, such as homeowners or auto insurance, providing broader protection. Scope of coverage. Extends to legal fees, judgments, and settlements for covered losses. Purpose of umbrella insurance. It acts as a financial safety net, protecting against substantial liability claims. Question 35. In a commercial general liability CGL policy, the product's completed operations aggregate limit covers A. Damage to the insured's own product. B. Bodily injury or property damage caused after a product is sold or a job is completed. C. Advertising injury during the policy period. D. Business income losses due to product failure. Correct answer. B. Bodily injury or property damage caused after a product is sold or a job is completed. Explanation. The product's completed operations aggregate limit under a CGL policy covers claims arising from bodily injury or property damage caused by the insured's products or work after they are out of the insured's control or completed. Distinction from general aggregate limit. The product's completed operations aggregate limit is separate and specifically for these types of claims. Purpose. Protects businesses against liability after work where products leave their possession. Question 36. Which type of property valuation in a property insurance policy reimburses the policyholder based on the item's cost at the time of loss minus depreciation? A. Agreed value. B. Replacement cost. C. Actual cash value. D. Stated amount. Correct answer. C. Actual cash value. Explanation. Actual cash value, SCV, reimburses the policyholder for the item's depreciated value, representing its current worth, rather than the cost to replace it with a new item. Difference from replacement cost. Replacement cost covers the full price to replace with a new item without depreciation. Purpose of SCV. SCV provides more affordable premiums but requires out-of-pocket expenses for replacing items. Question 37. What type of endorsement might be added to a homeowner's policy to cover valuable personal property, such as jewelry or fine art, beyond the standard policy limits? A. Inflation guard endorsement. B. Scheduled personal property endorsement. C. Additional residence rented to others endorsement. D. Business pursuits endorsement. Correct answer. B. Scheduled personal property endorsement. Explanation. A scheduled personal property endorsement allows the policyholder to list high-value items individually, providing specific coverage beyond the standard policy limits for items like jewelry, fine art, or collectibles. Purpose of scheduling. Ensures adequate coverage for valuable items that may exceed regular policy limits. Benefit. Scheduled items are covered for a broader range of risks than typically covered under personal property limits. Question 38. Which of the following is true regarding medical payments coverage in a commercial general liability CGL policy? A. It covers medical expenses for employees injured on the job. B. It provides limited no-fault medical payments for injuries to third parties on the business premises. C. It covers the cost of defending the insured against medical claims. D. It pays for punitive damages awarded in a liability lawsuit. Correct answer. B. It provides limited no-fault medical payments for injuries to third parties on the business premises. Explanation. Medical payments coverage in a CGL policy covers reasonable medical expenses for third parties injured on the insured's premises or as a result of their business operations, without determining fault. Scope. This coverage is intended to handle minor injuries and avoid litigation. Exclusions. Does not apply to employees, as they are typically covered under workers' compensation. Question 39. In inland marine insurance, contractors' equipment floater provides coverage for A. Buildings and structures on the job site. B. Tools and machinery used by contractors while on job sites. C. General liability for contractors. D. Loss of income if equipment is damaged. Correct answer. B. Tools and machinery used by contractors while on job sites. Explanation. A contractor's equipment floater insures tools, equipment, and machinery that contractors use on various job sites, providing protection from theft, damage, and other risks. Purpose. Covers portable and movable equipment used across locations, which may not be covered by a standard property policy. Flexibility. Ideal for contractors who frequently move equipment between sites. Question 40. What is the purpose of coinsurance in a commercial property policy? A. To limit the maximum payout on a claim. B. To encourage policyholders to insure their property to its full value. C. To provide coverage only for specific types of losses. D. To reduce premiums by offering limited coverage. Correct answer. B. To encourage policyholders to insure their property to its full value. Explanation. Coinsurance is a clause requiring the insured to maintain coverage at a specified percentage of the property's value, typically 80-90%. If the policyholder underinsures, they may face a penalty at claim time. Purpose of coinsurance clause: ensures property owners buy adequate coverage, helping avoid major financial gaps in case of a loss, penalty for noncompliance. If the insured does not meet the coinsurance requirement, they may receive a reduced payout. Question 41. Under the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, which of the following is excluded from coverage? A. Structural damage to a residence. B. Personal property located in the basement. C. Replacement cost for the main structure. D. Losses caused by a mudflow. Correct answer. B. Personal property located in the basement. Explanation. The NFIP excludes coverage for personal property located in basements. While the structure and some systems like utilities may be covered, items such as furniture and personal belongings in basements are typically not covered. Scope of NFIP focuses on flood-related structural damage and certain essential systems, not all personal belongings. Reason for exclusion: basements are particularly prone to flooding, so coverage is limited. Question 42. In workers' compensation insurance, which of the following benefits is provided to employees for work-related injuries? A. Punitive damages for pain and suffering. B. Lost wages and medical expenses. C. Disability income unrelated to the workplace injury. D. Coverage for injuries caused by intoxication. Correct answer. B. Lost wages and medical expenses. Explanation. Workers' compensation provides medical expenses and lost wage benefits for employees injured on the job, regardless of fault, but generally excludes injuries caused by intoxication. Scope of coverage: covers medical care, disability benefits, rehabilitation, and lost wages. Exclusions: excludes coverage for self-inflicted injuries, intoxication, and injuries unrelated to work. Question 43. What is the main purpose of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA, in the context of insurance underwriting? A. To prevent insurers from using credit reports for underwriting. B. To regulate how insurers collect, store, and share applicants' personal data. C. To allow consumers to dispute incorrect information on their credit reports. D. To require insurers to share credit report findings with applicants. Correct answer. C. To allow consumers to dispute incorrect information on their credit reports. Explanation. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA, grants consumers the right to view and dispute information in their credit reports, which insurers may use during underwriting to assess risk and determine premiums. FCRA provisions protects consumer rights regarding the accuracy of credit information. Insurance implications: insurers must obtain permission to pull credit reports and inform applicants of adverse decisions based on credit data. Question 44. Which commercial auto policy endorsement provides coverage for liability arising from employees using their personal vehicles for business purposes? A. Drive other car, dock, coverage. B. Employee as insured endorsement. C. Hired auto and non-owned auto liability coverage. D. Named driver exclusion endorsement. Correct answer. C. Hired auto and non-owned auto liability coverage. Explanation. Hired auto and non-owned auto liability coverage under a commercial auto policy covers the business for liability when employees use personal vehicles for work-related tasks. Purpose. Protects businesses from liability arising from employees using non-owned vehicles. Common usage. Important for businesses without a dedicated vehicle fleet. Question 45. Which type of insurance would best cover the legal liability of a company for injuries caused by a product it manufactured? A. Inland marine insurance. B. Product liability insurance. C. Business income insurance. D. Workers' compensation insurance. Correct answer. B. Product liability insurance. Explanation. Product liability insurance covers a business for claims of injury or damage caused by its products. This coverage is essential for manufacturers, distributors, and retailers. Coverage scope protects against legal liability due to product defects, inadequate warnings, or unsafe designs. Significance for manufacturers essential to mitigate financial risks associated with product-related lawsuits. Question 46. Which of the following describes the purpose of the liberalization clause in a property insurance policy? A. To reduce premiums if no claims are filed. B. To increase the insured's deductible without a premium change. C. To automatically apply broader coverage changes to existing policies. D. To restrict coverage changes until the policy renewal day. Correct answer. C. To automatically apply broader coverage changes to existing policies. Explanation. The liberalization clause allows any beneficial coverage changes introduced by the insurer during the policy period to apply automatically to current policies without an increase in premium. Advantage for policyholders. Ensures policyholders benefit from improved terms without needing to renew. Restrictions. Only applies to coverage enhancements, not reductions. Question 47. In a business income coverage form, what is typically excluded from coverage? A. Lost revenue during the period of restoration. B. Payroll expenses for employees. C. Extra expenses to reduce downtime. D. Losses due to a utility service interruption off premises. Correct answer. D. Losses due to utility service interruption off premises. Explanation. Standard business income coverage excludes losses resulting from utility service interruptions that occur off premises unless an endorsement for utility services is added. Reason for exclusion. Off-premises utility issues are outside the insured's control and often require specialized coverage. Optional endorsement. Utility services coverage can be added to address this gap. Question 48. Which of the following statements about the coinsurance clause in property insurance is true? A. It requires the insured to pay a portion of all claims, regardless of coverage amount. B. It encourages policyholders to insure property for less than its actual value. C. It requires the insured to carry insurance equal to a specified percentage of the property value. D. It increases the deductible on all property losses. Correct answer. C. It requires the insured to carry insurance equal to a specified percentage of the property value. Explanation. The coinsurance clause requires policyholders to insure a specified percentage, usually 80-90%, of their property's value. Failure to meet this threshold can result in a penalty, reducing the payout on partial losses. Purpose. Ensures adequate coverage relative to property value. Penalty for noncompliance. Partial payment based on the insured-to-value ratio. Question 49. What is the primary purpose of errors and omissions? EO. Insurance for a real estate agent. A. To cover property damage in the agent's office. B. To protect against liability for providing negligent professional advice. C. To insure the agent's own home against physical damage. D. To cover liability for accidental injuries at a property listing. Correct answer. B. To protect against liability for providing negligent professional advice. Explanation. Errors and omissions. EO. Insurance provides liability coverage for real estate agents and other professionals against claims of negligence, errors, or omissions made while providing professional services. Scope of coverage. Includes mistakes or failure to perform services as expected. Importance for professionals. Helps mitigate financial risks from client lawsuits over professional services. Question 50. Which of the following best describes contingent business interruption coverage? A. Covers income losses if the insured's own property is damaged. B. Covers income losses caused by damage to a supplier or customer's property. C. Provides coverage for loss of market value of goods. D. Covers additional expenses incurred to continue business operations. Correct answer. B. Covers income losses caused by damage to a supplier or customer's property. Explanation. Contingent business interruption coverage protects businesses against income loss when a third party, like a supplier or key customer, experiences property damage that affects the insured's business operations. Scope. Extends business income coverage beyond the insured's own property. Typical use cases: manufacturing reliant on specific suppliers or businesses with essential partnerships. Question 51. Which type of insurance policy is designed specifically to cover high-value items like jewelry, art, and collectibles with a value exceeding standard policy limits? A. Personal liability umbrella policy. B. Scheduled personal property endorsement. C. Inland marine policy. D. Commercial general liability policy. Correct answer. C. Inland marine policy. Explanation. An inland marine policy provides coverage for high-value, portable items that are often excluded or limited under standard homeowners policy. This policy is particularly useful for insuring valuable personal property, especially if it is mobile or frequently transported. Additional protection offers broader coverage than standard homeowners policy limits. Example of covered items: jewelry, fine art, collectibles, and valuable documents. Question 52. Under an occurrence-based commercial general liability (CGL) policy, which of the following must be true for a claim to be covered? A. The policy must be enforced at the time the claim is reported. B. The policy must be active when the incident occurred, regardless of when the claim is reported. C. The incident and claim must both happen within the policy period. D. The policy must be renewed every year for ongoing claims coverage. Correct answer. B. The policy must be active when the incident occurred, regardless of when the claim is reported. Explanation. An occurrence-based policy covers claims for incidents that happened during the policy period, even if the claim is reported after the policy has ended, as long as the occurrence took place while the policy was active. Claims reporting flexibility covers incidents that may arise or be reported years later. Benefit for policyholders. Provides long-term protection for past incidents. Question 53. What is the purpose of the right of subrogation in property insurance? A. To allow the insurer to cancel a policy at any time. B. To permit the insurer to collect a deductible from the insured after a claim. C. To enable the insurer to recover claim payments from a third party responsible for the loss. D. To allow the insured to transfer their policy to another person. Correct answer. C. To enable the insurer to recover claim payments from a third party responsible for the loss. L. Explanation. Subrogation allows the insurer to seek reimbursement from a third party responsible for causing a loss after they have compensated the insured. This right helps the insurer recoup losses and maintain lower premiums. Application in claims. Insurers step into the shoes of the insured to pursue recovery. Example. An insurer may seek compensation from a negligent party after paying the insured for damages. Question 54. Under the business owner's policy, BOP, what type of coverage is provided for business interruption? A. Replacement cost for lost inventory. B. Reimbursement for loss of income and extra expenses. C. Increased limits on building damage claims. D. Automatic replacement of essential equipment. Correct answer. B. Reimbursement for loss of income and extra expenses. Explanation. Business owners' policies typically include business interruption insurance, which reimburses for lost income and extra expenses incurred to minimize downtime following a covered loss. Purpose of coverage. Aims to help businesses continue operating after a disruption. Examples of covered expenses: temporary rental costs, lost revenue, and additional operational expenses. Question 55. Which of the following accurately describes coinsurance requirements in commercial property insurance? A. It requires the insured to pay a penalty on all claims regardless of property value. B. It encourages policyholders to insure their property for a percentage of its replacement cost. C. It applies only if the insured purchases less than $50,000 of coverage. D. It allows the insured to underinsure property without any penalty. Correct answer. B. It encourages policyholders to insure their property for a percentage of its replacement cost. Explanation. Coinsurance provisions in commercial property insurance require the insured to carry coverage for a specified percentage, often 80-90% of the property's replacement cost to avoid penalties in the event of a claim. Penalty for noncompliance. A reduced claim payout if coverage is inadequate. Encouragement of adequate insurance helps maintain sufficient protection relative to the property's value. Question 56. What is the main purpose of professional liability insurance for consultants? A. To cover claims of bodily injury and property damage. B. To protect against errors, omissions, or negligent advice given by the consultant. C. To insure against losses due to fire or theft. D. To cover employee injuries. Correct answer. B. To protect against errors, omissions, or negligent advice given by the consultant. Explanation. Professional liability insurance, or errors and omissions insurance, is essential for consultants as it protects against claims arising from errors, omissions, or professional negligence in their services. Coverage scope includes financial losses suffered by clients due to consultant errors. Common industries, legal, consulting, and accounting professionals frequently carry this coverage. Question 57. In a homeowner's insurance policy, which type of coverage would cover additional living expenses if the home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered loss? A. Coverage A. Dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Correct answer. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Explanation. Coverage D in a homeowner's insurance policy provides for additional living expenses if the insured must temporarily relocate due to covered peril rendering the home uninhabitable. Examples of covered expenses: hotel bills, dining expenses, and other temporary housing costs. Scope aims to minimize disruption to the policyholder's lifestyle during repairs. Question 58. Under a commercial general liability CGL policy, which of the following is excluded from coverage? A. Bodily injury caused by the insured's product. B. Property damage to the insured's own product due to a defect. C. Bodily injury to a customer on the insured's premises. D. Property damage caused by a completed operation. Correct answer. B. Property damage to the insured's own product due to a defect. Explanation. CGL policies exclude coverage for damage to the insured's own product if the damage arises from a defect or poor workmanship. This exclusion ensures that CGL policies are used for third-party injuries or property damage only. Purpose of exclusion: avoid insuring against poor quality work. Implication for insureds: separate coverage such as product liability may be needed. Question 59. Which of the following best describes the purpose of umbrella insurance? A. To provide health insurance for unexpected medical expenses. B. To offer primary coverage for auto and home liabilities. C. To provide excess liability coverage above underlying policies. D. To replace standard liability insurance policies. Correct answer. C. To provide excess liability coverage above underlying policies. Explanation. Umbrella insurance acts as a secondary layer of liability protection above the limits of underlying policies like home or auto insurance. It activates when primary policy limits are exhausted. Protection for large claims. Covers additional liability in significant incidents. Policy structure. Typically requires underlying policies with specific liability limits. Question 60. Which of the following is a primary feature of the claims-made liability policy? A. Covers incidents that occurred while the policy was in force, regardless of when reported. B. Only covers incidents reported while the policy is active and were also incurred during that time. C. Continues to provide coverage indefinitely for any claims made in the future. D. Extends coverage only to the first year of a business's operation. Correct answer. B. Only covers incidents reported while the policy is active and were also incurred during that time. Explanation. Claims-made liability policies cover incidents reported during the policy period that also occurred within that time, with the possibility of extended reporting periods if purchased. Scope of coverage requires both occurrence and reporting to fall within the policy period. Commonly used in professional liability insurance, where claims might arise after services are provided. Question 61. Which of the following best describes replacement cost coverage in a property insurance policy? A. The policyholder receives the actual cash value of the property at the time of loss. B. The policyholder is compensated based on the original purchase price of the property. C. The policyholder is reimbursed for the cost of repairing or replacing the property without depreciation. D. The policyholder receives a depreciated amount of the cost to replace the damaged property. Correct answer. C. The policyholder is reimbursed for the cost of repairing or replacing the property without depreciation. Explanation. Replacement cost coverage compensates the insured for the cost of repairing or replacing damaged property with materials of similar kind and quality without accounting for depreciation. Question 62. In an auto insurance policy, which coverage is mandatory for all drivers in most states? A. Collision coverage. B. Bodily injury liability coverage. C. Comprehensive coverage. D. Uninsured motorist coverage. Correct answer. B. Bodily injury liability coverage. Explanation. Bodily injury liability coverage is generally required by law in most states, as it covers injuries to others in an accident for which the insured is at fault. It does not cover the insured's own injuries. Question 63. Which type of insurance policy is specifically designed to protect businesses from claims of financial loss due to errors in their professional services? A. Commercial general liability insurance. B. Professional liability insurance. C. Business income insurance. D. Workers' compensation insurance. Correct answer. B. Professional liability insurance. Explanation. Professional liability insurance, also known as errors and omissions, EO insurance, protects businesses and professionals from claims of financial loss due to negligence, errors, or omissions in the services they provide. Question 64. Under a homeowner's insurance policy, what does coverage C typically cover? A. The dwelling and attached structures. B. Other structures on the property, such as sheds. C. Personal property owned by the insured. D. Additional living expenses if the home is uninhabitable. Correct answer. C. Personal property owned by the insured. Explanation. Coverage C in a standard homeowner's insurance policy covers personal property owned by the insured, such as furniture, clothing, and appliances, whether inside or outside the home. Question 65. Which of the following is true regarding flood insurance coverage? A. It is included in standard homeowners insurance policies. B. It must be purchased as a separate policy, typically through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. C. It only covers damage caused by overflow of inland or tidal waters. D. It covers damages caused by high winds. Correct answer. B. It must be purchased as a separate policy, typically through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. Explanation. Flood insurance is not included in standard homeowners insurance policies and must be purchased separately, often through the NFIP. It covers damages from flood-related events such as heavy rains or river overflow. Question 66. In commercial auto insurance, what is the primary purpose of Symbol 1 any auto in the policy declarations? A. To cover only the named insured's owned autos. B. To cover any auto, including owned, hired, and non-owned vehicles. C. To cover any leased vehicles only. D. To cover only vehicles specifically listed on the policy. Correct answer. B. To cover any auto, including owned, hired, and non-owned vehicles. Explanation. Symbol 1, any auto, provides the broadest coverage available in a commercial auto policy, covering all autos the business may use, whether owned, hired, or non-owned. Question 67. What is the purpose of ordinance or law coverage in a property insurance policy? A. To cover the cost of upgrades required by building codes after a loss. B. To pay for the demolition of a structure following a covered loss. C. To replace outdated furniture and fixtures. D. To reduce the deductible for property damage claims. Correct answer: A. To cover the cost of upgrades required by building codes after loss. Explanation: ordinance or law coverage pays for the additional costs of repairing or rebuilding a structure to meet current building codes, which may require upgrades not covered by standard property insurance. Question 68. Which of the following is a key difference between named peril and all-risk insurance policies? The named peril policies cover only specifically listed perils, while all-risk policies cover all perils not specifically excluded. B. Named peril policies are more comprehensive than all-risk policies. C. All-risk policies do not cover personal liability claims, while named peril policies do. D. All-risk policies are exclusively available for high-value properties. Correct answer: A. Named peril policies cover only specifically listed perils, while all-risk policies cover all perils not specifically excluded. Explanation: a named peril policy provides coverage only for perils explicitly listed in the policy, while an all-risk policy covers all perils except those specifically excluded. All-risk policies are generally more comprehensive. Question 69. In an auto insurance policy, what is the main purpose of medical payments coverage, MedPay? A. To cover injuries to others that the insured is liable for in an accident. B. To pay for the insured's medical expenses and passengers' injuries regardless of fault. C. To cover property damage to the insured's vehicle. D. To pay for legal defense costs. Correct answer: B. To pay for the insured's medical expenses and passengers' injuries regardless of fault. Explanation: medical payments coverage, MedPay, covers medical expenses for the insured and passengers in the insured vehicle, regardless of fault in an accident, and applies even if they are not injured in the insured's vehicle. Question 70. Which of the following is excluded from coverage under a standard commercial general liability CGL policy? A. Bodily injury caused by the insured's operations. B. Property damage to a third party's property due to the insured's actions. C. Bodily injury to an employee of the insured. D. Personal injury claims for slander or libel. Correct answer: C. Bodily injury to an employee of the insured. Explanation: a standard CGL policy does not cover injuries to employees of the insured, as these are typically covered under workers' compensation insurance. The CGL policy is intended to cover liability to third parties, not employees. Question 71. In a homeowner's insurance policy, which of the following would not typically be covered under coverage B? Other structures. A. Detached garage. B. Fence surrounding the property. C. Swimming pool. D. Property rented to others as a residence. Correct answer: D. Property rented to others as a residence. Explanation: coverage B provides coverage for structures on the residence premises that are separate from the main dwelling, such as detached garages and fences. However, structures used for rental purposes may be excluded unless a separate endorsement is added. Question 72. Which of the following best describes the coinsurance clause in a commercial property insurance policy? A. It requires the insured to pay a percentage of all losses. B. It mandates a minimum level of coverage relative to the property's value to avoid penalties on partial losses. C. It guarantees full payment on all losses regardless of the policy limits. D. It applies only to personal property coverage. Correct answer: B. It mandates a minimum level of coverage relative to the property's value to avoid penalties on partial losses. Explanation: the coinsurance clause requires the insured to maintain a specified percentage of insurance relative to the property's value, typically 80% or more. If this requirement is not met, the insured may face a penalty on partial losses. Question 73. Workers' compensation insurance generally provides coverage for all of the following except A. Medical expenses due to work-related injuries. B. Lost wages due to work-related disabilities. C. Punitive damages awarded to the employee. D. Rehabilitation costs. Correct answer: C. Punitive damages awarded to the employee. Explanation: workers' compensation insurance covers medical expenses, lost wages, and rehabilitation for work-related injuries. It does not cover punitive damages, which are intended to punish the employer for negligence. Question 74. which automobile insurance coverage would typically cover damage to the insured's vehicle from a tree falling on it during a storm? A. Collision coverage. B. Comprehensive coverage. C. Liability coverage. D. Medical payments coverage. Correct answer. B. Comprehensive coverage. Explanation. Comprehensive coverage covers damage to the insured's vehicle from non-collision events such as theft, vandalism, and natural disasters, including falling objects like trees. Question 75. What is the purpose of loss of use coverage in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. To cover personal property damage during a loss. B. To cover additional living expenses if the home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered loss. C. To pay for repairs to the structure of the home. D. To cover liability claims against the homeowner. Correct answer. B. To cover additional living expenses if the home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered loss. Explanation. Loss of use coverage provides reimbursement for additional living expenses incurred by the insured if their home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered peril, such as temporary housing costs. Question 76. Which of the following perils is typically excluded under a standard homeowner's insurance policy? A. Fire. B. Hail. C. Flood. D. Vandalism. Correct answer. C. Flood. Explanation. Flooding is typically excluded from standard homeowners policies and requires separate flood insurance, usually obtained through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, or private insurers. Question 77. In a commercial general liability (CGL) policy, personal and advertising injury liability typically includes coverage for which of the following? A. Physical damage to property. B. False arrest or detention. C. Employee injuries at the workplace. D. Product damage. Correct answer. B. False arrest or detention. Explanation. Personal and advertising injury liability in a CGL policy covers non-physical injuries to others such as defamation, false arrest, and wrongful eviction rather than physical property damage or bodily injury. Question 78. An insurance binder provides which of the following? A. A temporary agreement providing coverage until a permanent policy is issued. B. A summary of all policy exclusions. C. Proof of a claim being filed. D. Evidence of policy cancellation. Correct answer. A. A temporary agreement providing coverage until a permanent policy is issued. Explanation. An insurance binder is a temporary document issued by the insurer to provide immediate coverage until a formal policy can be issued. It includes the main terms of the policy. Question 79. Under a claims-made liability policy, which factor is critical for determining coverage eligibility? A. The date the insured first obtained the policy. B. The policy's expiration date. C. The date the claim is reported and filed. D. The total premiums paid. Correct answer. C. The date the claim is reported and filed. Explanation. In a claims-made liability policy, coverage is provided only if the claim is made during the policy period, regardless of when the incident occurred, making the reporting date crucial. Question 80. Which of the following would typically be covered under business income coverage in a commercial property policy? A. Expenses for inventory replacement. B. Costs associated with temporary relocation. C. Loss of rental income due to a covered peril. D. Fines for business interruption. Correct answer. C. Loss of rental income due to covered peril. Explanation. Business income coverage covers income loss due to a business interruption caused by a covered peril, such as rental income lost if a property is damaged and uninhabitable. Question 81. Under New Jersey insurance regulations, which of the following practices is classified as an unfair trade practice and is therefore prohibited? A. Offering reduced premiums for long-term policyholders. B. Paying policyholders to refer new clients to the agent. C. Providing additional coverages as an incentive for renewal. D. Misrepresenting policy terms to induce a lapse in coverage. Correct answer. D. Misrepresenting policy terms to induce a lapse in coverage. Explanation. New Jersey defines misrepresentation to induce policy lapse or replacement as an unfair trade practice. This includes misleading policyholders about their coverage to manipulate their decision-making, which is subject to penalties under New Jersey law. Question 82. In New Jersey, which coverage option is mandatory under the personal auto policy PAP for all drivers? A. Collision coverage. B. Comprehensive coverage. C. Personal injury protection PIP. D. Medical payments coverage. Correct answer. C. Personal injury protection PIP. Explanation. New Jersey is a no-fault state requiring personal injury protection PIP in all auto insurance policies. PIP provides medical expense coverage for the insured regardless of who caused the accident and is mandatory under New Jersey auto insurance laws. Question 83. Which of the following statements is correct regarding coinsurance clauses in New Jersey commercial property insurance policies? A. The insured must carry insurance equal to 50% of the property's replacement cost to avoid penalties. B. The coinsurance requirement does not apply to partial losses. C. The insured must carry insurance equal to a specified percentage of the property's value, typically 80%, to avoid penalties. D. Coinsurance applies only if the insured has filed multiple claims. Correct answer. C. The insured must carry insurance equal to a specified percentage of the property's value, typically 80%, to avoid penalties. Explanation. New Jersey commercial property insurance policies commonly include an 80% coinsurance clause, meaning the insured must carry coverage equal to 80% of the property's value. Failing to meet this requirement results in a penalty on partial losses, ensuring the insured bears some risk for underinsuring the property. Question 84. In New Jersey, which of the following property insurance endorsements would be necessary for coverage against earthquake damage? A. Extended coverage endorsement. B. Special perils endorsement. C. Earthquake endorsement. D. Comprehensive loss coverage. Correct answer. C. Earthquake endorsement. Explanation. Standard property policies do not cover earthquake damage, and coverage can only be obtained by adding an earthquake endorsement. This endorsement is essential in New Jersey to cover losses resulting from seismic activity. Question 85. New Jersey workers' compensation insurance requires employers to cover certain types of injuries. Which of the following would typically not be covered under this insurance? A. An employee's injury sustained during lunch off premises. B. An injury occurring due to repetitive stress at the workstation. C. An injury resulting from a work-related car accident. D. An injury occurring during an employer-sponsored event. Correct answer. A. An employee's injury sustained during lunch off premises. Explanation. Workers' compensation in New Jersey generally does not cover injuries sustained during personal activities like lunch breaks taken off premises, as they are not considered within the scope of employment. Question 86. Under New Jersey Commercial General Liability (CGL) policies, what is the primary purpose of coverage? C. Medical payments. A. To provide coverage for employee medical expenses. B. To pay for medical expenses of non-employees injured on the insured's premises, regardless of fault. C. To cover long-term rehabilitation costs for the insured's family. D. To provide punitive damages to injured parties. Correct answer. B. To pay for medical expenses of non-employees injured on the insured's premises, regardless of fault. Explanation. Coverage C of a CGL policy is intended to pay for the immediate medical expenses of non-employees injured on the insured's property, regardless of liability. In New Jersey, this coverage can prevent costly liability claims by compensating minor injuries without a lawsuit. Question 87. Which of the following perils is typically excluded under a standard New Jersey commercial property policy but may be added as an optional endorsement? A. Theft. B. Earthquake. C. Fire. D. Vandalism. Correct answer. B. Earthquake. Explanation. Earthquake coverage is generally excluded from standard commercial property policies in New Jersey. It can be added through a specific earthquake endorsement, which provides protection against losses due to seismic events. Question 88. A New Jersey personal auto policy, PAP, includes liability coverage. Which of the following is correct regarding this coverage? A. It only covers injuries to the policyholder's passengers. B. It provides coverage if the insured is legally responsible for injuries or damages to others in an accident. C. It covers all vehicle repairs regardless of fault. D. It applies only to accidents that occur within New Jersey. Correct answer. B. It provides coverage if the insured is legally responsible for injuries or damages to others in an accident. Explanation. Liability coverage in a New Jersey PAP covers bodily injury and property damage for which the insured is legally liable, including incidents outside of New Jersey, depending on policy terms. This is required by state law as a way to protect other parties in an accident. Question 89. New Jersey flood insurance is primarily offered through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. What is a typical characteristic of an NFIP policy? A. It covers personal property at replacement cost value. B. It has a waiting period of 30 days from purchase before coverage becomes effective. C. It includes coverage for sewer backups. D. It automatically adjusts for inflation annually. Correct answer. B. It has a waiting period of 30 days from purchase before coverage becomes effective. Explanation. NFIP policies have a 30-day waiting period before coverage takes effect, which helps to prevent last-minute purchases in anticipation of imminent flooding. This waiting period is a standard provision for flood insurance under the NFIP. Question 90. Which of the following statements is true regarding commercial package policies, CPP, in New Jersey? A. CPP policies are limited to covering only general liability and property. B. CPP policies allow multiple coverages, but each coverage must be issued as a separate policy. C. CPP policies offer a flexible way to combine various coverages under one comprehensive policy package. D. CPP policies exclude coverage for business income loss. Correct answer. C. CP policies offer a flexible way to combine various coverages under one comprehensive policy package. Explanation. Commercial package policies in New Jersey allow businesses to customize their insurance by combining multiple coverages, such as property liability and business income loss, under one package, making it both convenient and cost-effective.